Red and blue united in Washington to stop a humongous black hole of debt from growing and growing and growing. With a super committee deadline looming, a group of nearly 150 lawmakers now wants the super committee to just go big, really big. Try $4 trillion in spending cuts big over the next decade. My next guest helping to lead that charge, Blue Dog Democrat Jim Matheson. Congressman, always good having you.
Thank you, Neil.
Hope springs eternal, Congressman, but you know, and you're closer to the fire than I am, but it looks like a deal is at best dicey. What do you think?
Well, you know, they're keeping their cards pretty close to the vest, so it's hard to know, but I think they may very well come up with something. I don't think it's going to be the big deal that I think it should be, but they're going to come up with something that creates a new set of triggers, a new set of actions to happen in the future, and at least that's my guess. But you know what? Like you said, hope springs eternal. I hope they do something even bigger.
You've been among those leading the charge to bigger than the planned $1.3 to $1.4 trillion cuts in 10 years, as you astutely pointed out in a prior appearance here. That still means we're going to have $9 trillion more in debt after 10 years. So while that's progress, it's not exactly promising progress. But how do you get to the $4 trillion, Congressman?
Well, first of all, you're right that it's progress. The capital markets are telling us you need a minimum of $4 trillion over the next 10 years. If they want to go bigger, good for them, but they ought to at least go to $4 trillion. That's what the Simpson-Bowles Commission did when they come up with their deficit reduction proposal. I think we ought to go that big. How do you get there? Look, all of them are politically difficult issues. You've got to reform Medicare, you got to reform Medicaid, you got to reform Social Security to put them on sustainable paths, because right now they all blow up in deficits over time. And that's what's going to be tough politically, and that's why you need a bipartisan group to come together to go big. And that's what's exciting about this 150 lawmakers coming together and saying go big. These are both Republicans and Democrats saying, let's go big, let's do this together, and let's do what's right for the country.
You know, Congress, I don't mean to blow you smoke, but one of the things I've always liked about you is that you've been willing to put specifics behind your plans. Been willing to look at anything and everything, including reining in entitlements growth over the next few years. A lot of your Democratic colleagues have not. You've also urged Republicans to be open for more revenue enhancements, way to close loopholes that they have not been able to do because they see that strictly as raising taxes. And we've had Coburn here earlier said that it's certainly not.
Right.
Having said that, it looks like not everyone is buying that gospel. So let's say we do get to the point where Thanksgiving we don't have a deal. Automatic cuts supposedly kick in by the end of the year. We've already had the president saying that he wouldn't back those automatic sequestration cuts. I don't know if he can just veto them before it's understood those cuts are automatic. Is it your understanding that they are automatic and he can't veto them? Because that confused a lot of folks.
My understanding is it's automatic. It was part of the legislation that was passed by Congress August 2nd, and the president signed a law with the debt limit increase. These cuts are part of that law, so there's nothing left to veto. If nothing else happens, that sequestration or those automatic cuts, I think it just happened.